And that is it. It is the start of the Stan Pittman era in Razorback football.
Yes, it is. And
I led you right into that, and you let me down.
No, my bad.
I let you right into that, and you let me down.
Well, I mean, I'm a little down right now. My prediction didn't go well.
No, it didn't.
We have some plan tonight, apparently. So this should be a very interesting evening.
It's going to be fun. But
Oh, yeah? You're way too excited about this. And you're not even the one that gets to do it.
I'm looking over my shoulder, making sure I'm not the one getting one too, you know?
So as we get started, obviously I was wrong. You can all give me...
Will, mark the tape. Mark the tape.
Wait, okay. Let me clarify. I was not completely wrong. Things did change. This was a fluid situation, as some folks like to say. But no, I mean, from my understanding, there was maybe obviously not an actual agreement.
It almost seems like there was a verbal agreement.
Yeah. Well, my understanding, I think on Wednesday, at one point last week, there was a verbal from Sexton, is my understanding.
Yeah.
At least that's what I was told, and that verbally they had accepted the Missouri job. I mean, the Ole Miss job then came open, which is what kind of turned everything and got us to where we were. So, from my understanding, is that as it was reported initially, that Lane really did prefer Ole Miss, due to circumstances, or maybe it was Sexton trying to get more money. Maybe it was Juracek not wanting to pony up for a guy that didn't really want to be here. I don't know.
Even still, though.
Maybe it was the fact that Ole Miss bought him more burner phones. I don't know.
Speaking of which, did you see the video of him getting off the plane?
Yes.
He's holding a baby, hands the baby back, and the guy leans in and goes, "Get you a burn phone." Yeah. So
that was pretty awesome. So welcome everybody that's joining us live. This is the first time we've ever done our podcast live. I think
you seem a little nervous.
I'm not nervous. I'm just waiting for an egg to come up behind my head here in a minute because, this should be interesting.
I can't say that. Now that you've instilled this, though, all of us have been put on notice by you.
Oh, I just put you on notice.
You did, and you want to share that with the rest of the class?
No, you'll just find out later. Y'all make a prediction and see what happens.
No.
Yep. Oh, you have to make predictions. Oh, I'm the only one allowed to make predictions here?
Yes.
Okay, whatever, jerks. What's funny about all this is in our group chat, Will over here had already predicted this to happen, and we stopped him from posting it until we got more information. So really, Will should be getting the egg. I mean,
no. I think that's how I do too. I think that's how that works.
I do think that's.
I'm the only one that remains unaffiliated, but you know what? Damn it, I know I'm gonna get one.
Oh, it's happening. Eventually, it's happening. So I see we got some comments going. Oh wow, we got a lot of comments.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't have anything going right now.
Yeah, well, you suck. You should catch up.
I don't have anything.
Oh,
Oh, holy cow, there they are.
Can I just say to everyone that's out there watching right now, I don't know that I have very good friends.
Well, your brother tried to throw you under the bus.
Too many of my friends wanted to see the egg in the face, not the other way around. So I'm kind of worried. And then my best buddy Andy Gates out there decided to say that he'd hard boil some eggs and send them this way. I'm like, are you serious, man? Like, what a nice guy you are.
Right.
So
I was unable to find ostrich eggs.
That would have been awesome. Those probably would have been a little too pricey.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Surprised you didn't go find an ostrich. Never mind.
Whoa. The thought did cross my mind. They frown on that. They frown on that at the zoo.
This doesn't surprise me. You seem like, never mind. So
I do. I seem like a deranged person.
Don't go there. That's why they took the ostriches from the zoo. So
no, that's why they took. Never mind.
So tell me.
We talked about how we got to Pittman. Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it almost felt like Kiffin, Kiffin played the university.
Well, I mean, I don't know that if Kiffin did or if Sexton did, but how we got there, I mean, I don't know that we'll ever know. Obviously, today in the press conference, it was Pittman was the only offer. Well, of course, I mean, no AD is going to come out and say
that.
Oh yeah, we offered 5 guys and they all turned us down.
We'll talk about that towards the end of the segment. But what I want to know is why everybody thinks this was, because everybody I've talked to about this says it's a terrible hire, that it's an one person I talked to today said it was an embarrassment to the university, that the best we can do is an offensive line coach out of Georgia.
Well, let's specify that it's the best offensive line coach in America, the number 3 recruiter in the country.
Yeah.
And he's got a ton of experience. So my question to people, and I'm not going to sit here and try to sell this hire. I do think it's a good hire. I don't think it's a terrible hire. I don't think it's a great hire. I think it's a good hire. I think they did what they needed to do. When you look at it from the perspective of Kiffin, Kiffin, it seems, either didn't want to be here, or was, he's one of those guys like the last few we've had. He's not ingrained in the state of Arkansas. He doesn't understand, the background of this program and the things that happen in the university. And so I think that from that perspective, they got the right guy. They got the guy that wants to be here. That the emotion that Pittman showed in the press conference today obviously showed that. And so I'm a big fan of the hire. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell it to folks. I tried to sell the last 2. I was excited about the last 2.
Yeah, we see how that hurt.
And we got burnt. I mean, I'm going to support Pittman, and I think he will do well. I'm more curious right now to see what the staff is going to look like, because I think that's the more important piece.
You're looking at a salary pool of about $5 million.
Yeah.
Okay. In that, you're probably looking at $1.3 million at least per coordinator.
Yeah, you would think. Well, yeah, you would think so. It's going to depend on who they go after. I mean, they weren't paying Craddock much, thank goodness. Much in the grand scheme of things, like $600,000. That's a lot of money, but compared to what they were paying Goofball Chief over there to let the defense just get absolutely annihilated game after game at 1.5. So, I think they did the right. Around 5 is probably gonna get them a really good staff. The question is much like the head coaching situation. I know Pittman's come out a couple times and said he's got a ton of text messages. He's got a ton of folks that have expressed interest.
He said that a few times,
yeah.
And that kind of worries me that he said it so many times.
Well, I mean, I think he's trying to make a point, and maybe he's embellishing a little bit. But I mean, it's true. I mean, people are gonna kind of want to come work here, and so he's gonna get some guys. The question's who. We talked about this before we started recording. When Chad Morris got hired, the big to do was, he's going to bring Venables. He's going to bring Venables. Let's be realistic. Just like we couldn't get the top, we couldn't go out and get a Saban or a top head coach. We're not going to go out and get a Joe Brady. It's just not going to happen. Why would Joe Brady leave his situation for anything but a head coaching job?
And the kicker is he's only a first-year coordinator.
Yeah, and so again, you want to see some time.
Orgeron went out and found this dude.
Yeah.
And now he's playing for a national title.
Well, and that's exactly what Pittman has to do. Pittman has to do the exact same thing. So Pittman has to take it upon himself to find the exact same situation and find good coordinators that he can work with, and that's what they're going to have to do in order to make this thing work. So that's the biggest key to the hire. I'm a fan of the hire. When you think about the guys that we think we were turned down by. So from my understanding, Matt Campbell was somewhere in the running. Mike Leach was somewhere in the running. Elijah Drinkowitz was somewhere in the running. And so those, we start thinking about those guys, and they all turned us down. And so I think they all turned us down.
What?
Why I gotta take my glasses off, man? I can't see. I'm like,
You're
blind.
fine. You're fine. Mm-hmm. But in the grand scheme of things, though, I don't want us to. At start, it almost felt like we were Tennessee, because Campbell. We didn't get Campbell, so we went after Norvell. We didn't get Norvell, so we went after Kiffin. Kiffin turned us down, so we went to Drinkwitz. Drinkwitz turned us down, and here we are. Here's what I think happened. Okay, Pittman may not be what everybody wants, but it's exactly the kind of coach that we need right now.
Well, and I think that's the point. Pittman is the guy that we need at this point. He's the guy that this program needs right now. He's a piece that is going to stabilize. When you saw him in the press conference today, he was, he wasn't overly energetic. There was none of this fakeness that we got with Chad Morris. There was none of this, we're gonna hammer down, we're gonna left lane, we're gonna do this and this. There was none of that. It was, hey, we just got to be more physical, and we've got to do a better job. We've got to get out there and get to work. And so that was that was what he had to say, and I think it was a good, I think it's a good point that he made in terms of getting this thing going. So, I'm impressed with him to a point, but we'll see where things go from there.
What Will's making faces over here off.
Should I just move the mic away at this point?
What did you think of the hire as far as, I mean, what was your impressions from the press conference today?
So with a press conference, I think he won it, but they say every new coach is undefeated with a press conference. I mean, really have to screw up an introductory press conference. But I think he, like many people have said, he's the coach we need right now to stabilize the program. All the former players, I mean, the amount of reaction we got on Twitter last night whenever they made the official announcement was fantastic. I mean, you saw all of the...
and there it is! There's one, and I think it splattered all the way to the back of the floor.
Is there another one coming?
Is there another one coming?
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, there it is. My... How's that taste over there, bud?
I mean, people eat those raw in the morning, so I guess.
I didn't...
I think it went up my nose.
I can't help you there.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, my pants.
It got everywhere, Kate. What a way to come back to the show.
I feel like
How did it get over there?
You splat. I mean, you went like that.
I didn't.
How you feel there, buddy?
I'm bad.
You need to step into the back room.
I need a shower.
We have one of those.
Go hose down. We've got one.
Chicken came on my phone.
Oh,
You're welcome.
there it is.
Yeah, that's for...
Why do y'all think I was turned sideways? Because I wanted to see both directions.
So, Katie's losing it.
We need to take a picture of the aftermath before we clean
It's
this
all
up.
on video, so...
It is all over the wall, all over his phone.
Bad,
on
it's all
video.
over his
Oh, no! Oh, there it goes, Zach. See, no one's behind me, so I'm good. Oh, man.
Damn it! I knew that was coming.
That's because you never picked a coach.
How long you been waiting to do that? Oh man!
That was a nice shower, huh, Steve?
Oh no, I'm gonna come back and we'll finish the segment real quick. I'm gonna tough through it. I'm gonna push through it.
I feel like a chicken just threw up on my head.
No, that's not
something to your head.
Hey!
Woo.
Oh, boy.
Okay, this is great.
It's still on top
I'm
of
not
his
even gonna be
head.
able to see. Fuck it. Frick it.
Oh,
Dang it!
The eggs
you
up
can't
there.
edit live.
No. Sorry, my bad. I told you I was gonna have them.
Oh, it is all over the mic.
Dude, it's all over everything. Is it running down my back?
Yeah.
Okay, thought so.
I thought you were used to that by now.
Hey. Whew. Oh man. Will, how long has this segment been?
Well, we've been on for about 13 and a half minutes. So
Okay.
you got, what, 5 minutes or so left?
Oh, it feels so slimy.
Yeah, wait till it rolls in your
is.
eyeball.
It's an egg.
All right.
It is all over the room.
So what's
Oh my God, it got... Wait, is that from my egg or is that from the egg?
That's from the egg Steve nailed me with.
so
Egg
Eric, come get these.
so Will, what's your thought of the hire?
It's all over the side.
Oh, I think it's going to be good if he can
Oh,
build
it
the
feels
staff.
so icky.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of disappointed when I heard that
Oh, man.
all he has is $5 million to build a
He
full
doesn't have $5 million. He's got about $5 million.
He's
It could be 5.5.
So, I mean, it could be a little more than $5 million, yes. But, so, I mean, and we understand he can go to
got a little
Hunter and
excited.
say, hey, I've got this coach that I want to hire, but he's going to need, $300,000 more or something. Oh, you need Katie to take care of you. Oh, come on, Zach.
I told her to just hold the remotes.
Oh,
I walked in it.
Yeah, never mind.
oh goodness.
I had a bag in
That is all kinds of in my hair, man. That's like,
the
yeah.
Oh, man. Now my jeans just look like piss
Justin
off myself.
commented and said if he was here, I would have one too. I'm closely watching Katie as she
I don't
goes
know if I
behind
should
me.
put that on.
Make sure she doesn't
okay.
have one.
I don't know if I should put
pocket
the
for
headset
me.
on right now.
Oh, God.
So,
All right, I'm going without the headset for a moment.
so as far as I mean,
How did you manage that?
I crushed that sucker on his head.
I looked this way,
so
and I was
there's
looking at him,
7 feet
and the next
from
thing
that
I
seat.
feel is slam right on my head. We totally lost control of this podcast.
That's for all the crap you talked all week.
Oh, forgive the
talk
people
like-
that's going to listen to this while driving down the road.
Right. Yeah, you'll have to cut on Facebook and follow and watch the video if you haven't seen it, because I am like,
Yeah, so
My-
Natural State Sports on Facebook.
oh
I mean,
man.
we're averaging about 800 listens a week on our podcast, and let me tell you, it's may get a
slimed
couple
me.
people call and say they drove in the ditch.
Right. The shit
Yeah.
pond, yeah, that
Yeah,
was
The
good
shit
stuff.
pond.
Woo.
Oh,
Oh man, well that was fun. That was a fun first segment.
Troy said give Steve a Strasburg contract for that throw.
Right.
Hey, you'd like that $200 million he got.
was two,
it was 275.
275.
275. Yeah, it's 275.
Yeah, man,
but
he-
still.
Second big contract? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's awesome though.
That's
Good
a lot
for
of
him.
money. I mean, for a pitcher. I mean,
Yeah.
for one that's on the down end of his career,
So
too.
Christopher Shaw says, "What do you guys think about these staff picks? As OC, you've got Rich Rodriguez, Charlie Strong at DC, Tyler Wilson, quarterback coach,
No.
DMAC Hillis is running, or Hillis is a running back coach.
No.
Chris Baker or Tripp as wide receivers. Line coach, we already know. Lorenzo Robinson as DBs. Weston Dacus or Jeb Huckabee as I don't know.
The ex-Missouri O-line
Yeah,
coach.
Davis,
Is-
Brad Davis.
Brad
Yes.
Davis.
Yeah.
Weston Dacus or Jeb Huckabee as linebackers, and then Barry Lundy Jr. special teams and tight ends. Now, you had an issue with.
That's a
I
lot
have
of
got-
former Razorbacks
Yeah.
that
I'm leaning all
really
up in this
probably
stuff.
never coached, especially at the collegiate level. Yes, they played, but, teaching someone is a lot different than doing it yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, running backs coach, I'd like to go get Frank Wilson, the
Yep.
coach that was fired from UTSA. I mean, I don't, of
But-
course.
Sometimes these head coaches, though, when they step down, they make good coordinators.
Well, I mean, that's the word
Barry
right now
Odom
is
and Matt
Odom.
Luke.
Yeah, Odom's a potential for the defensive side. I don't think that we would touch Luke.
Not after he. Oh, I got all.
Odom, Odom is probably an option on the defensive side. At least we've heard. I don't like Rich Rodriguez on the offensive
Where's he
side.
been?
He's at
He's
Ole
at
Miss
Ole
right
Miss
now.
right
Was.
Rod?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing what?
He was
the
OC.
OC, and then Todd Graham was their defensive
Yeah.
coordinator.
I mean, they had some good pieces, and they're going to pay them a lot of money to go away. But I'm not sure that maybe Rich Rod. I don't know that I'm sold on that.
You get someone like a younger coach like Rhett Lashley or
Now-
someone, if he doesn't get a head coaching job somewhere,
Yeah.
I think you can think of maybe
I
him.
can see Rhett Lashley coming in.
I'd be
I
all
wasn't
about
a-
Rhett Lashley. That one, that's one that I could definitely get on board
I wasn't
with.
a huge fan of him, and then I started watching the SMU offense this year, and then when he was up there with UConn, I mean, even that was fun sometimes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when he was at A-State and then Auburn with Gus.
And my only question for Rhett Lashley is, he did already technically fail, in the SEC. I mean, he was the scapegoat for Gus when they forced him out. But that would be my only concern there is he didn't do well. But then again, Gus hasn't done great things unless he's really got a dynamic quarterback anyway. So,
And their one quarterback entered the transfer portal, didn't he?
yeah, Gatewood
And he
did.
went
So,
to Kentucky.
I haven't seen that, but
Yeah,
sure.
he went to
Gateway
Kentucky.
went to Kentucky.
So I mean, as we wrap up here, I think, to me the key is going to be the coordinators. That $5 million-ish number that Yurichek threw out today should be enough to get him there. We'll see how much playroom he has because. I mean, if you get a guy that's on par with a Brady on the offensive side or an Aranda or a Grinch on the defensive side or something like that, and you can get him and he wants to come and it's going to take 1.7, then give him 1.7. I mean, make it
but
happen.
realistically, though, I mean, do you think we're going to get a Grinch or a
It would
Aranda?
take 2 to get Grinch,
Yeah.
probably 2.5 for Aranda easy.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think any of those guys are coming, and that's what the point I was making before with the Venables thing. I mean, people talked about Venables.
Yeah, because you and I were talking off air. Morris, who is also in the running for Auburn OC. We all thought that Venables was. There's no way Venables is leaving Clemson right now.
And he wasn't. I mean, Venables wasn't, and he wasn't for sure going to take the same position at another school. That just wasn't going to happen. So I mean, and it's the same way for me with Aranda or Brady. I don't see either one of them leaving their situation. Now, Grinch, does he think that he could do better at Arkansas? I mean, again, why would you leave Oklahoma in their situation right now after 1 year and just to come to Arkansas in its situation? So he's going to have his hands full trying to get a staff, especially a high-quality staff. But that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to get guys around him. I think Pittman.
Part of me is concerned
I'm
about.
not.
Well, here's why. I don't know, and again, I'm not calling Sam Pittman a liar by any stretch of the imagination. Am I thinking he's padding the numbers a little bit? I can't see in our current situation right now a top-line defensive coordinator that would want to come here, or even a coordinator at all that would want to come here.
Well, he hadn't said that, but I'm sure there's plenty. I mean, there's going to be some guys that are in some positions. For instance, I mean, a Rhett Lashley. You're telling me that Rhett Lashley would not be excited to come here for $750,000 a year? Back to his home state, get an opportunity to build this program
Where's he at now?
SMU.
That's
You're
right.
telling me he's not going to come here? So, I mean, you have guys that will definitely make the move. I mean, there's no question about that. So it's just a question of who's the fit. I mean, much like Pittman ended up being the right fit. It wasn't about the best coach. It wasn't about, the best name to take the job. The one thing, and I want to make this clear, my prediction was not because I wanted Kiffin. You guys, I think we talked about this at the very beginning. Kiffin was not a guy that was on my radar as somebody that I really wanted. I'd have been happy with Kiffin. I think the one plus to Kiffin on the front end would have been the buzz. You saw the buzz that Ole Miss got starting with game day. I mean, it was the talk of Saturday during conference championship game. That's most of what they talked about on game day. During the FAU game, during the SEC championship game, Ole Miss got talked
Even
about.
SEC Nation.
Yeah.
Well, here's in SEC Nation got it in your ear, huh?
No, it's in my beard. And I had an itch, and now it's all over
You
my
have a dog.
finger.
You don't let him look it out later.
That's just weird. But okay.
Protein, man. Protein. But no, here.
Whatever you do at home is your deal.
Hey, easy now. But final point though is, what are our expectations moving forward? I mean, Will, what do you think? I mean, what would your expectation be moving forward, at least for year one?
So for year one, I think we need to see better, more established line play, because of course that's how you build your program from the inside out.
Right.
With starting with your offensive line, with him being an offensive line coach, and let's be honest here, we have some players on that line. We don't have the depth that we need. We need 10 to 12, I think, to really be a good SEC quality line. But I think that we need to be able to show progress there. I think we do have some players. You saw some of them progressing. You saw Stromberg was getting better. Ty Clary was grading out pretty well for PFF grades. Cunningham was starting to come on at the end of the year. He was getting that SEC experience. So I think if you've got those three guys, then you've got a guy like Luke Jones who's been able to practice all year, and he'll be able to step in now and have an off season with Pittman and his staff as well. Coming in, you'll see him in the spring game. So if we got four and we can just find that fifth spot, and then you have Gatlin coming back from injury. Hopefully he comes back full.
Dorian Gerald will be back. He's been cleared.
Well, he'll be the defensive line, and we'll want that to get better too, because we've got a lot of young players on that side too. So I think you just start with the OL offensive line and get them stronger, get them more SEC level, and then you go on your defensive line. If you can fix those two lines, it changes the whole game. It really does. So I think if we can see progress there, the wins may not come. We may be only 3-9 or something like that, but I think that we'll be more competitive, which we were early in this season until the players realized that these coaches weren't going to get them where they needed to be.
Yeah.
And so I think that we'll see 3-9, maybe 4-8. We could sneak in and win a game or two if we can play good, sound, fundamental line play in some games that maybe we aren't just overly talented or over matched in like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you'll see a much more competitive team. But to me, I made this point with somebody on social media yesterday or maybe today, I don't remember. But to me, if they win 5 games next year, they may erect a statue of Sam Pittman.
I know you were saying that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this is he's got a lot of work ahead of him. I mean, this team is. There's some talent deficiencies, but I think if he can come in, I mean, he walked into the locker room with the players and made the comment, I told the players they didn't choose me, but I sure as hell chose them. Like that's big time. Like, I mean, that's a 180-degree difference from what Chad Morris had to say when he came in and basically separated everybody and looked at him and said, "You all suck, and that's why I'm here."
That goes to me. That spoke more volumes than the whole left lane hammer down full tilt boogie.
Well,
thing.
again, and not to get off topic too much real quick, but I mean, you think about when Morris was hired, it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all fake, just like the whole thing. I mean, he repels from a roof. It wasn't
you think
him.
Sam
It was
Pittman will repel from
no, it's not going to happen. And so we didn't have all the craziness. I didn't think the theatrics of the fire, spark, whatever that stuff was when Pittman first came out. You couldn't really see it on the broadcast very well, but I thought that was a little cheesy. But you didn't have all that. You didn't have the fake smoke and mirrors. It was straight up, hey, this is this is where I'm here. This is what I want to do. So my expectations for next year is that these guys they'll come together. Like Will said, 3-4 wins. If this team gets to 5, again, the non-conference schedule is brutal. You open with Nevada and Notre Dame, and then
you go. I think you go to Starkville for Mississippi State immediately following that.
So the non-conference isn't easy, and so it's going to be one heck of a roller coaster that first part of the year. So I'd say if this team gets to 4 wins, that's a pretty good win, and just stay competitive. I mean, a lot of what we said this year should have happened needs to happen next year. It's a fantastic home schedule. There's some opportunities there. There's a chance to go to Arrowhead for the Missouri game, and so I mean it should be an exciting year. But fans are gonna have to hold on because it's gonna be a rough year.
All right, that wraps up the football talk. Will, guys, been the first. I gotta go clean this egg off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower. We can't do the rest of this. I'm gonna have to do it naked. So we can't.
God.
Sorry, we won't be able to be live for the rest of it.
Oh god. All right, we appreciate everybody joining us on Facebook.
Yeah, share it. I hope you enjoyed me getting an egg on my head. All you guys that talk
And
crap,
me getting
appreciate
a
it.
surprise one.
Yep.
So
yeah,
listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Google.
Just your favorite, whatever your podcast
give us a
app is. Get on
5-star review. Let us know what you think of it. When we come back, we'll be talking about basketball.